What's up, everybody? Betting Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson, a.k.a. Bay O. Wolf, a.k.a. Malcolm Excellence, a.k.a. Hacksaw Jim Thuggin. Okay? Today's Thursday, March 31st, 2022. It's just after midnight here on the East Coast. I'm actually here in the Midwest in the Republic of Cincinnati, but it's East time here, East Coast time. And like I always tell you, I normally do a sports betting show where I give people picks on sports betting. I do it through a podcast Thursday through Sunday, but on this video, there are no sports betting picks. So if you feel you have a gambling problem, still get help, your local Gamblers Anonymous Association, but you can listen to this video. But however, Saturdays and Mondays videos, you would not want to listen to if you feel like you have a gambling problem, because I'll be talking about the NCAA Final Four and the NCAA Final Four on Saturday, the championship on Monday. Okay, along with other action on those days. All right. But I still will do an audio podcast later today, Thursday, through Monday this week because of the ball games. All right. But yeah, you can find my audio podcast on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Podcasts, about 10 different places, all right? The Fame Rothstein Sports Investing Show, okay? I don't usually, unless I'm talking to a politician about sports betting, it'll be just all action, all right? And but before you do all that, do you mind hitting this like button for me? Hit the like button. Smash them like buttons. Give me a sub. Thanks to the new subscribers. We had a good... So we had some new subscribers the other day because of the Will and Jada video. We're going to talk about a little bit more about that tonight. But yeah, give me some subs. Leave a comment. Okay? But most importantly, share the content. Okay? Couple things. First of all, shout out to President Joe Biden. The other day, he signed the anti-lynching bill. And that was great. If this was 1901, my great-grandparents, this was 100 years ago, that'd be, 1922, yeah. That might have been a great bill, even though you weren't president then. That might have been a great bill back then. But now, like, really, in 2022, trust me, lynching is among the least of my worries. You're talking, make sure my kid's straight, making sure my health is straight, my finances, mental health, making sure, I've got enough money, making sure, avoid a mass shooter, making sure I have a suitable donor if I have if I need a transplant sometime, things like that, roaches in the cereal box, those are things I'm more worried about than getting goddamn lynched. You know what I'm saying? There's about 208 different things I'm more concerned about than getting lynched in 2022. Don't insult me, President, okay? Don't insult me like that. That's some bullshit. You know what it is. Reparations or get the fucking stepping, B. That's all. You act like it's 1901, 1922. Cameron sitting in the damn living room with Ace Boogie. Niggas get lynched every day, B. Get the fuck out of here, man. Don't insult me. All right? Secondly, and I hate to be cursing because I'll be talking about a child here. Tyre Stanford, the 14-year-old kid from Missouri, died on a roller coaster on Christmas break, holiday break or something down in Orlando with his school at a school event, something like that. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible situation, terrible way to go. I hope that the lawyers don't try to press that kid's mother and say, we don't feel responsible. But I've seen schools do that to a kid. Saw it right here in the Republic of Cincinnati. Superintendent, kid killed himself because he was getting bullied at school. The school didn't do anything about it for, a period of time. And kid, kills himself, hangs himself. Superintendent, they sued. Superintendent was like, shit, we ain't had nothing to do with that. He did that at home. It was just terrible. When it was clear that that's what it was. And, but I'm holding the school totally liable. I ain't even holding the amusement park. I mean, I know there's a lot of young kids, probably stoners, are working at these amusement parks. But I saw a report today that it said that his seat was fastened. He was fine. And I'm about to tell you what happened there. What probably happened there. I didn't, obviously didn't reconstruct or anything. I'll tell you what more likely happened there. He's a big old biggin. He's a beefcake. He was a beefcake. I don't know how tall he was. He looked to be around 6 feet tall, if not taller. But he was a beefcake. He was every bit of 290. If not, I've heard 340, 350. He was at least 290. I mean, I know a little bit about body weights and body composition. And I could tell he was pushing 300 and he played football. What was it, 9th grader or whatever for a 14-year-old? I thought he moved pretty decently. Thought he could move a little better for his age, but I'd imagine he was going to probably play Division I football at some point just by being a big old biggin like that. So yeah, I'm blaming the school. You were the school event. It was a school event. You were there, and you have what do they call that in loco parentis or whatever? In place of the parents. And somebody was supposed to tell that boy that roller coasters ain't made for a kid your size, for a guy your size, a person your size. Roller coasters aren't made for you. He's 300 pounds and more. Like I said, I didn't see any official reports about that, but that's what, people I guess are supposed to know him said that. Somebody's supposed to tell him, like, I don't think that's a good look for you for a roller coaster. It won't be safe. I don't think it'll be safe. You're just too big of a guy. They're not made for 300-pound peoples. Somebody's supposed to tell him that. Be an adult and tell him that. But nobody wants, everybody wants to be like damn, what's his name? John Candy and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to hurt people's feelings. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you. No, you're protecting this kid. Now I'm sure, I don't know, maybe the school had like a, some type of disclaimer or, waiver saying that, what for the parents, right? Say my kids can do whatever they want there as far as at the amusement park or whatever. Ride whatever ride, it won't be a problem. Medically or whatever. But I still think somebody should have told him that, like, because it's one of those roller coasters where goes up into the air by itself and it drops or whatever, things like that. You've probably seen the videos. People passing out when there's 2 of them in the thing. I don't know how many people were in this. From what I understand, it held about 40 or whatever. So I don't know the actual, how the roller coaster looks. But that was another thing, too. I saw the headline a couple times before. I've never seen the video. But I did see the roller coaster and the people getting on it. And the minute I saw that, I said, that's that kid, and turned it off. Took it all the way to the end just to make sure. And I heard, the second I heard those screams, turned it right off. So I didn't see it. But there are people who've actually seen the video, the kid, you macabre ass motherfucking people. How did you not know that that's what that was about to be, that video? it was clear that I'm sure any video that's on it captions it. Like what would make you want to watch that with that kid? But like I said, I'm holding the school responsible because they were supposed to tell him that. Somebody, the chaperones at the damn thing, whether it was parents, school, whoever, tell him. Because I'm not saying, when I was 14, 15, I liked roller coasters. Had a buddy, always had a buddy on getting on them with me. But hey, I wasn't 300 pounds either. You understand? Somebody was supposed to tell him that. Like, I don't know if this is a good idea for a person your size. He'll probably look around, see that kid's big as me. I'm worried about you, not him. So yeah, poor Tyre Stanford. I hurt for him. I hurt for his family. I hope whoever's insurance person, whoever gets sued behind it, because I'm sure somebody will. I hope they do the right thing and don't stress that parents out and let them go on and be done. But because somebody's gonna get sued. But I'm holding the chaperones responsible. Now, lastly, it's gonna take a few minutes. We got Will and Jada Part 2. And I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but have you been paying attention? This whole thing is breaking down behind racial lines. 2 black men. It involves 2 black men, 1 woman, 1 black woman, and it's breaking down by racial lines. White people are almost 90%, if not 100%, that I've seen are on Chris Rock's side because he was assaulted and the quote unquote free speech, and mostly black. Maybe not as much as a disparity, but mostly black and a lot of low SES people. Not as well. I'll take that out. I don't know what they are, but are okay with that and kind of on Will Smith's side. And I'm like, how? And I'm one of the low SES ones. I'm like, how? Like, we can't just allow a guy to just assault a guy because like that. I've seen that I've seen a comedian get roasted like that, chastised that in some type of form or fashion 3 times in my life. First time was Steve Harvey chastising Paul Mooney, rest in peace, over a joke that he said about Diana Ross, and Diana Ross's daughter was in attendance when he said it. He didn't, just kind of like, went to her side, like, hey, your mama was a diva, don't pay no, that type of shit, I told you about Sean Penn, going at Chris Rock about the Oscars way back when. And then this one, Will Smith going up there slapping the shit out again. If you see the video, Will was laughing at first. But Jada, you can see her in the background, she doesn't have a smile at all. And then that's when the shit went off. That's when the shit went down. But I saw something from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar saying, that Will Smith has, perpetuated, some black male stereotypes, some bad ones. Pat Midler on, retweeting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because of that. Oh, he nailed it. Saw some video, some publication tweeted out that, most people are in favor of, it didn't say what race though, but it said most people are in favor of Will Smith and Adam Carolla, formerly of MTV. Like, no, that's not true. Tweeted at that. Like, it's not true. That's why I'm like, oh, it's kind of some bullshit. Now, granted, every celebrity I've seen from Philadelphia is totally on Will. Philadelphia, they're not gonna diss Will. That's their favorite son. But and New Yorkers, the New Yorkers I've seen, kind of a lot of them are like, that's some bull. Ain't no. But basically the Shannon Sharp take. I'll beat your ass for that. Because it was some bullshit. Like there was nothing going on that you couldn't. And Chris Rock wasn't even the host. He was a presenter doing something. Well, nothing that you couldn't handle between commercial breaks. Hey, Chris, let me holler at you, man. You know, my wife going through some shit. I ain't appreciate that. But that's not Will talking. I told you. That's not for him. That wasn't for Chris. That was for her. She's Will's trigger. Everybody has a trigger. She's Will's. And, you know, he probably does not want to leave her, you know, because, you know, it is the kids and whatnot. And, you know, honestly, probably too great of a transfer of wealth. You know, what's Will Smith worth? 200, 400 million? Got to give half of that to her? Who probably, honestly, earned maybe 5, 10 million. I mean, she had a career, but her career didn't stop because of him. She wasn't getting big roles anyway. Like that. I mean, you know, only reason I'm counting their money because Will's a public figure. Let's be honest. Stop it. Stop it. Don't come at me like that. Yeah, so I mean, the whole shit that the Will is her trigger. And I'm telling you, I can almost tell you that what's gonna happen if he does not get some help, serious clinician, mental help, it's over. Somebody's gonna get hurt. I can almost guarantee, and it'll probably be in the next 18 months. Somebody will get hurt. Cause you know it's. I mean, you know. Now, granted, the black celebrities that I've seen, you know, what's his name, D.L. Hewley, you know, a lot of comedians, you know, they're like on Chris Rock's side. Of course, they're all comedians. They want to talk shit and not have people, you know, come up and run up on them like that. You know, Cedric the Entertainer, you know, starting the show like, hey, you know, just so y'all know, we do smack back here. All right, you know, that type of shit. You know, yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation. But Will needs help. And if he doesn't get the proper help, I'm telling you, it could be bad for him. You know, it's fucked up when O.J. Simpson's got a great story about you. What does he say? You know, he talks about the situations that just know, like, if I would have did that, they would have put me under the jail. Gave me life for murder. You know, talking about what happened to him after Las Vegas. He don't like to talk to Los Angeles. I get it. You know, his wife died in that. But yeah, he don't like to talk about that one, but he's talking about the Las Vegas one, you know, and it's like, well, yeah. And comedians made jokes about that, about him. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, yeah. I mean, it's just so many, it's just, the Will and her shit is just so simple to me. Will and Jada, you know, it turned into a moratorium on alopecia. You know, now I will say this. I did not know that alopecia was not covered as medical condition or necessary in most insurance plans. It's, you know, covered as cosmetic. Now, that is some bullshit. You know, if a motherfucker want to be able to grow hair on their head, you know, because it can't protect you, you know, from the sun and things like that. So, okay. You know, but yeah, they're talking about, you know, how important that, you know, the black woman in her hair is, how sensitive that issue is, and all that. It turned into that. It's like, okay, I get it. But that doesn't mean Will needs to slap this man. And like I said, she had a hair issue when she was banging their son's friend, or whoever August Alsina. August Alsina had that one little jam about 2014 or 15, something like that. You know, I'm way too drunk to be. It was a nice little jingle. It was, I can't front. It was a nice little jingle. But other than that, you know, you never heard from him again until this. You know. So, you know, calling him Augie and, you know, calling it an entanglement, trying to laugh it off or whatever. No, that's some bullshit. So, Jada's his trigger, y'all. She's his trigger. But we got to help Will. You know, because he's going to lose the most of this. That nice, friendly, wholesome. I mean, this guy was the most unthreatening rapper next to Hammer. MC Hammer, you know. And that's because of one song, Can't Touch This. Or he did the Jesus, you know, but it was While We Pray. But, you know, then after all that shit was over with, he joined Death Row Records. Wearing black again, like when he first started. You know, when you first start rhyming, you know that song by Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith ain't never had one bit of aggression on his records. Even parents don't understand. Parents like that song. Nightmare on My Street. Putting himself in a movie. I think I can beat Mike Tyson. Every dude from age probably, 19 to 30 thought that shit at one point. I can beat Mike Tyson, things like that. Men in Black, he's doing kids songs, kids movie. And now you show that you'll slap the shit out of somebody on live TV in an award show. That you've been to plenty of them and had jokes thrown at you plenty in the back in the day. Then that cockamamie ass, crying ass excuse, Will, I had to protect so-and-so, during this movie because Richard Williams did that. Like, the part of Richard Williams' life that you were playing, he was old. He was like in his 40s. Like the young dudes that he had problems with, they was too much for him. He couldn't handle them. They beat his ass one time. And I guarantee you didn't explore how completely embarrassing that had to be for a man to see his daughter see him get whooped by teenagers. See them whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? So that really made it mad for me, that little fake ass bullshit apology he gave. Like, bro, you on some bullshit. I can go on and off, but I'm just telling you right now, from where I see, I'm not a clinician, but from where I see, and I'm making this based on everything that family has told us. I don't know them people. You done told us, okay, your kids had a couple, the girl had the single hit, I whip my hair or whatever. The son, the Karate Kid, how big of a role that had to be? That was a cult classic. And they do the remake with you. But yeah, the situation with the singer and her, your kids' sexuality, dating Tyler the Creator or whatever, just everything that comes out of that camp, we hear from you all. We don't know about it. Y'all tell us. And so based on what I'm seeing, she's some type of trigger for him. I don't know if it's his main trigger, but she's definitely a trigger point for him. And maybe the way she thinks of him, the shit with Tupac, everything, it's a trigger for him. And he's eroding. But hey, that's all I got, y'all. So, it's a little long. I kind of held y'all probably about 5 more minutes than I needed to. But, I had some shit to talk. I want to talk a little shit. Because I ain't going to talk no shit Saturday and Monday. All right? Unless something major happens, but I doubt it. All right? But, like I said, you know where to catch the podcast. Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Podcasts. All sports betting action. Thursday through Monday. Okay? This week. Thursday through Monday. I'll be back on video. All sports betting action unless something major happens. Saturday and Monday. All right? But until then, everybody stay safe. Peace.